Welcome. This video will demonstrate how to centrally manage and deploy ZTNA policy packages using the Hillstone Security Manager platform, HSM, and verify that they have been appropriately placed. We will begin by defining what a ZTNA policy is. A ZTNA policy is a set of rules that enables secure connectivity for remote users to private apps without placing them on the network or exposing them to the internet. The policy achieves this by using a range of security controls, such as authentication, authorization, dynamic access, and least privilege, to verify the user's identity and determine what resources they can access. This approach helps to reduce the attack surface by only allowing authorized users to access specific resources, thus mitigating the risk of cyber threats. A ZTNA policy package is a collection of policies and configuration settings defining the rules for implementing zero-trust network access within an organization. The purpose of grouping them is to automate and orchestrate the deployment of these policies instead of doing it individually. On HSM, we can create and deploy ZTNA policy packages and centrally distribute them to the NGFW device working as a ZTNA gateway. Once it has received the ZTNA policy package from the HSM, NGFW implements new policies or updates to the existing ones. As mentioned, these policies contain established conditions determining whether a connection is trusted and allowing or rejecting it. ZTNA user's client connection will be evaluated from 3 angles to verify if verification complies with the conditions: user identity, endpoint, and schedule. The result will depend on compliance or failure of the conditions. In the HSM user interface, we can look at the necessary elements that may be used to create a policy. Endpoint conditions are also known as tag. For example, we have an endpoint condition for which the OS must be Windows 10 and have an antivirus enabled. We can create as many conditions as wanted. Application resources. Here we can add, modify, or delete the resources provided to specific users. Schedule. It is possible to determine the availability schedule for each resource. This is optional but highly recommended for critical resources. In this example, the schedule specifies that resources can be reached from Monday to Friday within the time range from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., but it is also possible to create new customizable schedules. AAA server is a centralized server that provides authentication, access control, and accounting services for network devices and applications. It is possible to sync up using protocols such as Radius and Active Directory, as others. Users. We can select users from the AAA server we are connected to or create new ones that will be added to their corresponding AAA server. In this demonstration, the deployed package is the test package. If we click on it, can see the details, such as policy rules, position of policy in the device, and manage devices in which these policies will be applied. It is possible to verify that the policies have been appropriately set. Go to the ZTNA Gateway Device User Interface, select ZTNA, and click on Policy. Both policies from the test package appear at the bottom, meaning they were successfully deployed. Now, to verify compliance and what resources are accessible, we will access using the ZTNA client on an endpoint. Once user identity has been verified, 3 possible results depend on endpoint posture and time schedule compliance. On the first example, it will be compliant with the 3 aspects: allowing the user to gain access to the ZTNA portal and to the assigned resources. In the second example, we will turn off the antivirus, which is an endpoint security posture condition. As expected, the user can access the ZTNA portal, but the assigned apps are not available. If the user clicks on the information button, will receive customized information about how to fix and gain trusted access. Finally, if the access request is not compliant with the scheduled time, users will gain access to the ZTNA portal but cannot even look at the assigned resources. Let's wrap it up. HSM. Here is where we can create the policy packages. ZTNA Gateway. Here is where the policies will be applied. Behind the ZTNA Gateway, users will find the resources assigned to them only if they comply when requesting access. Users will connect to these resources using the ZTNA client on their endpoints and through the ZTNA Gateway, where the request will be evaluated. The result will differ according to user identity, requirements compliance, and schedule.